2.4 Sketching Graphs of Rational Functions, Part 2. So this first example is going to have an oblique asymptote. We'll make it a little bit harder. So we can see that f of x is greater than g of x, which means we have an oblique asymptote. So let's find our asymptote first. So we're going to go -2, 5, -2, and we're going to divide it by 1. Bring down the -2, and I have -2 and 3. So our oblique, and that doesn't matter, is -2x plus 3. That's our oblique asymptote. So we're already on our way. Let's figure out our holes and vertical asymptotes. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to factor that top. So you should have gotten -2x plus 1 and x subtract 2 over x subtract 1. So we have no holes because there's nothing we can cancel. We have a vertical asymptote at x equals 1. I also know that I'm going to be able to find some x-intercepts based on this top number. So I'm going to have an x-intercept at where -2x plus 1 makes 0 and where x minus 2 makes 0. So I'm going to have intercepts at x equals 2 and at x equals -1/2. So because we're dealing with a half there, let's go every 2 lines is worth 1 to make it a little bit easier. So here's our graph, and let's draw in our asymptotes. So we have a vertical asymptote at 1. Oops. Okay, there we go. I have a horizontal asymptote at -2x plus 3, so I'm going to go up to +3, and then I'm going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay, so it looks like that. And now we have some intercepts. We have 1 at a half, oops, which is right there. And then we have 1 at 2, which is right there. So we kind of just need to see, actually you can guess. This one's going to hug the asymptote here and go up there. This one is going to hug the asymptote here and go up there. And then you are done. Oh, I guess we could be specific on the y-intercept too. Let's find that y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, we're going to go back to our original equation and plug in a 0 for everything. So -2 times 0 plus 5 times 0 minus 2 over 0 minus 1. So we have -2 over -1, so it's at 2. So you can specifically put the y-intercept at 2. You should be able to always find all your intercepts, all your asymptotes, and all of your holes if necessary. So there's our graph. We didn't even need Desmos. Look at us, we're so smart. Yay, you're doing amazing, sweetie. Okay. X for our domain. X cannot equal our asymptote at 1. I didn't even write the 1 in. And our range can be everything. There we go. All done. So not so bad. Next one. Okay, so let's start by factoring. The top can't be factored, but we can factor the bottom to be x minus 3, x plus 3. Yeah. Okay, so f of x is less than g of x, which means we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. We also have a hole because we can get rid of that and that. So our simplified equation is y equals 1 over x plus 3. We have a hole at -3. So we're going to find the y by plugging it in. This should be a subtraction. I was like, that doesn't work. So we'll plug it in there. So we have a hole at -1 or at 1 over negative 6. So like that. We have a vertical asymptote at what makes this 0, so x equals 3. We're not going to have any x-intercepts because there's nothing to make the top 0. We can find our y-intercept by plugging in a 0 for y. So we have 0 plus 3 over 0 squared minus 9, so it's 3 over negative 9. Oops, I wrote another 3. Which equals negative 1/3. So that's our y-intercept. Okay, let's sketch what we know. Okay, so let's put our horizontal asymptote in at 0. We don't need to draw that. We can put our vertical asymptote in at 3. Right there. And we can plot our y-intercept at negative 1/3 if we want. So we should be able to guess here, because we know it's not going to cross this line, and because there's no x-intercepts, and it's going to have to approach this asymptote, that it's going to hug the line and then go down. If you were unsure that that's how it was going to look, you just make a table of values and figure out what happens as we approach the asymptote. So we can plug in a 2.99 and a 3.01. When I do that, I get negative 100 and positive 100. So it means it's going to get really small here, and then it's going to get really big on this side. So on the other side, it's going to go big. Oh no, where did it go? It's going to go really big and then hug. You can get closer than I just did. So there's our sketch. So our domain is x cannot equal 3. And because we know there's no x-intercepts, our range is y cannot equal 0. All right, that's the end of that unit. Move on. See ya. Bye.